for our subject today, we have the greatest people of all time, the school blockers. Now, ignore my sarcasm for a second and let me just get something straight. I'm not exactly a big fan of the kids that go out there and whine about how school settings are supposed to be done because, well, this is just how it's supposed to be. If you're paying attention in class, they wouldn't really need to implement these blockers, and you would be able to do basically anything you want. But I'm just doing it because I need some of that high quality video content. You know me. And for our subject today, we got our boys over in Hapara. We got Securely. We got frickin' Papa John's. Just kidding about that one. And the very old proxy we've had for a while called Lightspeed Systems, which would block you off from any pornography that your mind could think of and pretty much anything else.
Y'all sick bastards out there.
Welcome back to the talk show. I'm your host, Nightspin, joined by another guest. Do you want me to say your name? Austin Bates. So today, like I said, we're going to talk about website blockers and the effects of them. The reason why I decided to do this is because recently the school decided to add a new blocker towards it called Securely. Now, this website blocker basically does a lot of the work that people wanted for the school done for them. And like, there's this one website a bunch of little kids would go on called Cool Math Games. I looked it up. Yes, it's blocked. I'm going to try to censor out what my school district name is because I don't need yo kids finding me where I live if this does blow up one day. And moving on, it blocked a whole bunch of videos on YouTube. Yes, YouTube is unblocked. Very surprising, right? Now, the proxy used to do its job back then. It did it pretty well. It kept kids off of websites they shouldn't have been on, and so on and so forth. But this website brings it to another level because not only does it block whatever it deems worthy of blocking, but it may be just good websites too. Because I've looked at website like reviews of this. There's this one review, right? There's this student's teacher that brought up this website and wanted the kids to use, but it turns out this new Securely thing they've implemented blocked it. What do you know, right? And moving on throughout the list, it was just a whole bunch of kids whining about how this disables their privacy. Some kids brought up very worrying points for me about how they signed in their home, like school accounts on their home computers, and this this tracker followed them through that. And it was worrying for me because since I like to get YouTube done at school, I have signed in onto my Chromebook here with my home account. Don't tell the teachers. I haven't found anything with involving Securely on my thing. That's probably because I have several VPNs and other crap on my Chromebook that would make a website of that caliber nearly impossible to follow me. But enough of my point of view on this situation, which I have stated less of. I want to give a point of view of one of my friends here, Austin. You want to come over here and tell us what your opinion on this new blocker is?
I don't think it's very good because you got to do schoolwork and it shouldn't block you from stuff besides like
porn.
Yeah.
Moving on, like from the website blocking and all that stuff, many people can argue that they've been just blocking music and all that stuff, which is a bit of bull crap, but then again, it's the school, they can do whatever they want. And another thing about music, if you want to listen to music without it being blocked, just download the music, bring it to school. That's what I did, still do. I use my phone most of the time, but as long as you get the songs legally, see what I did there, and bring it to school, you should be good. many kids have approached me being like, alright, so you've disabled Hapara last year. Long story, and I guess I'll get into it, but there's this website that they used to use back then that was more manually operated, which the teachers would track you on your Chromebook and whatever website, what your screen would look like. And I basically found a loophole because I was very ahead of my class for the middle school and I knew code. So what I did was I went into Hapara and basically shut off its connection. Dope on me, right? But moving from that, eventually the teachers just assumed it was me because I can't have that amount of knowledge without anybody knowing, and they're like, alright Caleb, don't do that no more. Eventually I just got bored, did it again, told the teacher, IT guy found out. He was the IT guy that we used to have. He was very cross with me about that. There was another situation that brought up where he got very mad and I kind of tried to lie my way out of it. He did not like that at all because he knew what I knew in that situation. But that's another story for another time. But these kids, they came up to me asking, hey, can you hack into this? Can you like change it? And I'm like, well, that's the thing though. I can't exactly hack everything because it takes a lot of complications and process to do that, and also think about the consequences if I manage to do something like this. I'm gonna get in deep horse doo-doo right there. But I've looked into it and I'm like thinking of talking to the IT guy about changing it up to where it's more lenient in a good way, because I think the reason why they implemented it because middle schoolers were kind of abusing the system, doing some bad crap. But I'll go over how the systems work later in another video. 10 likes if you want me to do that, and I'll explain how the system works if you want to get around it and what the consequences could be if you're not careful with it. I know this video is more like a mixture of story time and what's happening at our school, but it just is what it is. I mean, I honestly find this securely, it makes sense, but it doesn't at the same time, like I said, because it's both really uncontrolled. If somebody got a hold of the securely account, it could really override the whole school. But moving on from that, thank you guys for watching the podcast and hearing me blabber a bit. Thank you guys for so much support on the last podcast. I wanted to listen to my audience and give something a little bit more relevant. Bye guys, love you.